it's pretty
Yeah.
good. But when you look at the overall numbers, like, man, you ain't even close. But the simple fact that he did that as an independent is like huge. So that lets you know how important it is for somebody to run behind the party. If he decides to run as independent, it's going to take some major backing for him to make a move to in that seat. If not, at least put some thought in some of these people's minds and their ears to say, hey, we got to make a change because he got steam and he got people who really agreeing with him. I say the same thing with Bernie ran. It was a situation where Bernie had to eventually just give up. But I think some of these states, they're giving free college tuition for the first 2 years for going to community college or something like that. I think that all comes off the back of Bernie Sanders and campaigning and how the American people was buying it. So and it might be one of them situations. He's talking about running, but it might be one situation like I'm finna jump in, put my hat in here. I'm finna throw these ideas out, and we can possibly get some change going on around here. Maybe not my overall picture, but we can get some things moving, get the ball moving on some stuff.
Now, I do have this question because I mean, what party do you think would take the biggest hit from him running independent? Do you think that that's going to impact the Republican Party? Do you think that that really impacts the Democratic Party? And pretty much, I think it's going to be Joe Biden is probably going to run for a second term. Like, what party do you think is affected the most? Is it Democratic or Republican?
Both, if you ask me, because I think it's pretty much well. I put it like this: he's not going to affect the Republican side. He will affect the Democratic side for sure. The Republican side got their own issues going on with the two people they trying to battle between on who they gonna get. It's really like a toss up right now on who is gonna do what. And he's not gonna be the last person to come out and say they're gonna run president. It's gonna be some other people that come out on the Republican side later on. It's gonna say they're gonna run for president also. So he's not the last person, but he will have more effect on the Democratic side than he will on the Republican side, to be honest with you.
That's interesting.
It,
What's your
it's
thoughts, Spears?
it's definitely going to be the Democratic side, and that's because most black people identify as Democrat. So therefore, it's going to pull some of them votes for the people who are invested into politics and national political atmosphere from voting Democrat and going the independent or the people route. And then therefore it's going to take away the effectiveness of whatever vote. But it also all depends on how big this gets for Mr. West. So if he gets some good traction or whatever, then a lot of us who vote Democrat could go all independent or the People Party, and then therefore it may not matter. But the other thing that is going to matter is, let's just say, all Black America votes for Mr. West, Professor West. The other thing about it is we still need some votes of the other counterparts and our other peers or other races to vote as well for us to get him into office. So it's not just going to be us who makes it happen. Yes, we are the big factor and the deciding force in getting getting Biden elected and everything. And so without our vote, he wouldn't be in office. However, it wasn't just our vote who got him there. It was our vote who made the difference. But without the votes of, whites, Asians, Mexicans, Latinos, and everything that also voted for the Democratic Party, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So if, let's just say, he gets all of Black America won't be enough. So I do hope that he has a point of interest for others outside of Black America, just to make sure that, you know, he feeds that seed just a little bit. Again, we understand that Black America needs certain certain things to take place in America for us to get some economic stance, some social justice, some liberties and freedoms that we're supposed to have, says the Constitution that we don't have. And so therefore, I'm all for him coming as strong and as fierce as he does when he does talk about Black agenda and the Black narrative as he talks now. But I do know in this political game of politics that he is going to have to also make sure that he feeds the interests of the others. And so part of me does wish that he could have got into a party, and I wouldn't have cared if it was Republican, if he was running as Republican or as a Democrat, just because of everything that I said. So then therefore he gets more of those people who, regardless of who's running, they're gonna vote Democrat, they're gonna vote party regardless. So it don't matter if it's Joe Blow, me, you, Flake, or anybody, they gonna vote whatever party that they align with. And so therefore I think that might have been a little bit better, but again, who knows? We don't know, because he hasn't said much besides that he's entering the race and he's doing it independent. But again, part of me, just because I know how politics work a little bit, I do wish he would have got behind a party. But again, and it wouldn't matter what party, because there are some views where I support Republicans' outlooks on certain things, and there's some views where I'm just wholeheartedly rocking with Democrats, and there's some views where I don't rock with neither one of them, and it's independent of myself and how I feel. So again, I understand how politics work, and I understand party is just a thing, but it all depends on what you plan on doing and what you support, and then also the basis of your party in general. So that's all I got to say about this, because I know we wanted to go somewhere else and didn't want to spend too much time on this. So I'm done with Mr. West. I wish him the best. I hope the best, and I'm just ready to see this play out.
I think you hit a couple of key points, but the reason why I'd asked that is because when Biden and Hillary was going back and forth to who was representing the Democratic Party, 80% of Black men preferred Biden. Of course, that could have came down to gender, who knows, right? But as we went to the actual presidential election, Trump did get a lot of support from the Latinx community and Black men. So that's why I asked, is because I think it's going to hit both sides. Of course, Democrats are pretty stubborn, just the same way that Republicans are. But when you take away that, and you see somebody that could attack both angles, because there's drops with the Republicans and the Democrats, I think he has the brain power to influence people to realize, if you were not voting for this person to still running, and you didn't vote for this person, why not change? So yeah.
I can tell you right now, them debates gonna be fired up. I'm gonna be tuning in for the debate. That boy gonna test some heads off.
Yeah, that's gonna be must-see TV right there. That's definitely gonna be must-see TV. But yeah, Frank, did you have any closing things on it?
No, that was it. The debate's gonna be must-see TV. Gonna be a bunch of viral moments for sure.
And yeah, we wasn't really expecting to dive that deep into it, man. But I think that was a great dialogue around that, though. As of late, and we don't necessarily want to gloss over before we get into the main topic. It has been, I think it was a lot of young children have come up missing. We've seen, I think it may have hit the national news a couple of days ago in Cleveland. Like 30 kids came up missing. There was a real big bust in I think it was like San Antonio. A bunch of kids were found, and the Carolinas. So you all have children. I have, nephews and nieces, godchildren, things of that nature, man. What's your thoughts behind that, of what these kids are coming up missing? And what I thought was weird about the Cleveland situation, what's making it hard based off of what the police are saying is two things, is that they don't have the finances to be able to search the city to look for the kids. And secondly, there are a bunch of kids without pictures that are missing. To me, that is just weird, especially growing up. When I grew up, the milk carton, you always pretty much had a picture if somebody just came up missing or there was an alert. It's just what's your thoughts as parents? Like, how do you navigate through that? Like, because it just made me honestly thinking, I share mine since I don't have any. I don't know if I want to bring a kid into dealing with all of that, man. It's because that's a lot. That really is. And I mean, of course they have to do things, but just as, you know, two Black fathers, what's your thoughts? Because it was a lot of Black children that were missing, especially in Cleveland, shockingly. To me, how I was raised, Black kids just don't come up missing. You know what I'm saying? That's just how we looked at it. Like, Black kids don't really come up missing like that, but it's definitely becoming a trend as of late. What's your thoughts as Black fathers operating out here in these trying times?
I mean, well, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's tough. I mean, it's something I think about every day. It's something that's in my prayers every day to bring my children home each and every day. The thing is that most time when people think about children going missing, you automatically think of sex trafficking, which is some of it, and some of it is not. Some of these kids are strictly runaways. Some of these kids are getting caught up in gang violence, the drug game, this, that, and the other. Some of them are getting addicted to drugs and then just lose their way. What was more shocking to me is that I read when I was doing the research on this, it was saying that, you know, there's probably more missing children out there, but some of them don't get reported. And that's beyond me to, like, how do you have a missing child that does not ever get reported at all? That means there's something going wrong in that household where that child might want to get away, change their identity, or whatever it is, or might be living with a cousin or family member. Now, when they did, you know, when I did further research, they were saying with this year, they have found majority of the kids where, like, they had been like a 99% success rate on finding them. But it's that 1% is a lot when we get to talking about as many children that we discussed, because the 30 is just in a short amount of time. When we talking about over a year, we talking about thousands of kids. And that means there's hundreds of kids still missing, even if you're able to recall the 99%. I wouldn't ever want to be that parent. My heart goes out to those parents that you searching and just hoping to where your child at, tagging on and reaching to every clue that is out there. When I was in school, we had, when I was in middle school, we had one of our classmates to come up missing from my 8th grade to 9th grade year. And it's crazy to me in a small town like that the rumors was going around of what happened. And it was 20 years later before anybody was ever arrested about this situation, which is insane to me. Like, this should have been small town where I'm from. I know we ain't got all the resources, but at the same time, it ain't like we got like murders happening like that where we can't try to find research. And I don't know what all was going on in this situation, but, you know, as a child, but it was a scary thought that, you know, one of my classmates that I was cool with, that we swapped CDs with, and we go to the fair, we made sure we got on a ride or two together or whatnot, and she just come up missing just like that. You know what I mean? It's just crazy to me, but in today's time, yeah, we just got to be on more of a lookout, be more aware of our kids, not let the cell phone raise our kids, not let TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat, and whatever other one is out there raise our children and see what's going on, see what they feeling, because some of them are running ways, and some of them are getting addicted to drugs, fentanyl, taking a lot of kids out. And kid might not be missing. It could be a drug overdose. It could be you got involved in the gang violence and they got dropped off as a John Doe, you know, at the hospital, at the emergency room, are found as a John or a Jane Doe, and the police have no way of identifying them. And the ones with no pictures, a lot of them is no recent picture. Like, you got this picture of a 10-year-old, but they went missing at 16. Like, You know, so I mean, I don't know. It's just hard. I mean, I ain't really got no words for it, really, even though I just said a lot. But yeah, it's tough to even think about. I don't even know what step to even take, because you want to trust, but then you don't want to. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, whoever you call on can only do so much when it comes to law enforcement and other people. It takes a village to find these people. You know what I mean? It just can't go off on one or two people or expect 2 or 3 detectives. It really takes a village to go out and try to find these kids. But one thing I do want to know, and I'm gonna let y'all go because I feel like I'm talking more. And every once in a while, you get a missing child that reaches the headlines. It's all on every news station. My question, and I know y'all can't answer, but I would want somebody to tell me, how is that decided?